Hello, my name is Avishag Maya. I'm a workshops facilitator, therapist, and naturopath specializing in fertility and sexual function. I teach fertility awareness method. Fertility awareness method allows you to know yourself deeply and study how to prevent or achieve pregnancy naturally. Today I'm going to give you some information about the menstrual cycle, which have 4 phases, and what is happening in your body in each of those phases. Nowadays, most of us know about our bodies by what we learned in sex education class. Most of us build our relationship with our bodies according to sex ed classes in middle and high schools and all kind of things we read online. Throughout those years and the years following, we were taught many myths and incorrect information about our bodies. Therefore, we have a lot of blind spots regarding what is really going on here. Sadly, in the meantime, the person who knows our body best is our gynecologist, and his or her advice solely usually determines what kind of birth control or fertility treatments we probably would use. And in most cases, we don't get a lot of explanation as how it might affect our body. I meet a lot of women who practice meditation and yoga and performing all kind of diets to clean the body and increase health and reach higher consciousness while using hormonal birth control, which has just the opposite effect. It's just that they don't know any other choice. So, ladies, there is a choice. Not that kind of choice the doctor will offer you, but it's only lately doctors started recommending the practice of meditation. I guess we still have some time until they will offer practicing fertility awareness method. From a very young age, we get to use hormonal birth control with a basic message saying it's either you take hormones or you get pregnant. Most women don't even know their natural cycle. The hormones which create the cycle affect our body, but also our emotions, our energy. Artificial hormones affect your brain and the way you think and feel. Researchers show using hormonal birth control affect the choices we do in life. And me, I don't need the research. I see it with my own eyes. Hundreds of women I met who decided to get off the pill and getting to know their own body and connect to themselves, getting to know that amazing source of power and inspiration. It's like witnessing a woman waking up to a much clearer consciousness. So, after so many decades, our culture is saying to us, hey, the feminine body is dangerous, it's unpredictable, you can get pregnant in any moment. Don't trust yourself, trust only the doctor. Women around the world discovered the path to connect to the powerful wisdom of the body and soul, to get to know and trust your own rhythm and feel at home in your body. Do you feel at home in your body? So let's talk about our cycle. What creates our cycle? The answer is hormones. Hormones are like messengers in our body. They are created in one organ and cause an action to occur in a different organ. For example, the male hormone testosterone is produced in the testicles. This hormone flows in the blood and causes hair to grow on the man's body. Insulin, for example, is produced by the pancreas and helps the sugar that flows in the blood to get inside the cells. There are 4 main hormones which create our cycle. In this video, we will talk only about 2 of them and focus more about what can support each phase of the cycle. You can divide the cycle to 4 phases. The first phase is the bleeding. You start counting the days of the cycle from day 1 of the bleeding. The second phase is when the body prepares itself for ovulation. The hormone that rules this phase is estrogen. Right after ovulation, phase 3 is starting. It's when the body prepares for pregnancy. It prepares to hold and keep the egg and the sperm that will become the fetus. The hormone which rules this phase is progesterone. It's interesting to know that whether fertilization of the egg happened or not during ovulation, it doesn't matter. This phase always happens after ovulation, even if you got conceived or not. If there was fertilization, this phase will continue and become pregnancy. But if fertilization did not happen, it will take around 10 days and progesterone will decrease and the fourth phase will start. The fourth phase is when there is no progesterone and no estrogen and the body is just before starting the bleeding. That will start the cycle again. This is the time a lot of women experience premenstrual symptoms. This is the time a lot of women know they're about to get their period. And I'll explain more about it further on. So now I'll talk about what is happening in each of the phases and how we can support ourselves. So, the first phase, the menstruation. Unfortunately, in the West, a lot of women refer to this phase as a punishment, as a burden, treating the blood as something dirty that you need to clean all the time. While in Tantra, this phase is very sacred. It's an amazing time for the woman to rest and meditate. It's a natural detox phase that our wise body creates each cycle. It's like an energetic and physical and emotional restart process. Some women really experience detox symptoms as tiredness and low energy. In tribal cultures, women used to have that time for themselves, leaving the everyday work and connecting deep inside the energy of the womb and to silence. Women which are attentive to their body and womb in those days experience less pain and discomfort, or even not at all. This is the time of the month you should attend to yourself, to self-nourishment, to even create and spend time in a place that feels like inside a womb for you. It's time to be soft and gentle with yourself and experience less doing and more being. It's a great time to rest and dream, write, sing, move gently. A lot of women get inspiring ideas related to their own lives and relatives around them. This is a time for healing and detoxing, letting go from everything that doesn't serve you in life. According to the teachings of Tantra, the blood is precious. It is our precious life force, and some of the practices are driven to decrease or even stop the menstrual bleeding in order not to lose our precious and limited life force. I can't share with you those practices, but you can use yoga asanas as headstand, handstand, Uddiyana Bandha, or even just lay down with your legs up, meditate with the intention to sublimate the energy upwards. By doing so, you can decrease the bleeding, pain, and discomfort. Now, let's talk about the second phase. It's already during the menstruation that estrogen level starts to elevate, but it can take some time for it to get to a level you can actually feel it. So, in order for your body to get pregnant, you need an egg that you already have and a sperm. Estrogen actually helps you to get it. It affects your brain, your body, your emotions. Estrogen makes you more energetic, more communicative, more into going out and seeing people. Your communication skills like talking and writing are much better. You feel like doing more stuff. you feel better about your body, your skin looks better. And to make sure you find the one, close to ovulation time, your senses, especially your sense of smell, is becoming more sensitive to pick up on the male pheromones. And you want to have more sex, you have more sexual desire. And this is thanks to another hormone named testosterone. I will just mention it. Testosterone is the male hormone that makes men look like a man and act like a man, and actually makes them want to have sex. In the man's body, there is a minimum of 20 times more testosterone than in the woman's body. So imagine that for every one thought you are having about sex, they are having 20 or more. So, getting closer to ovulation, the testosterone shows up a little more and affects sexual desire. So what else is estrogen doing? It's in charge for creating the new layer of blood around and inside your uterus. It's in charge for lowering the temperature of your body so the sperm can survive when it arrives. It opens and softens the gate to your uterus, which is the cervix, so that the sperm can go through. And it makes the cervix create amazing fluids. Those fluids, you can see them sometimes on your panties, are similar to seminal fluids. And when the sperm arrive, those amazing cervical fluids will nourish it, will hold it, and help keep it alive in the woman's body up to 5 days, so it can wait for the egg to come if needed. But that juicy cervical fluid is not just an open house spa. The process is a very sophisticated mechanism of the body, which eliminates all the sperm that are not good enough and keeps only the best. And when the egg will be ready, the cervical fluids will carry the sperm like a special delivery service up to the fallopian tube to meet the egg. So what is recommended for this phase? You can use the high energy of this phase to start new things, new practices, new projects. This energy is the best energy for a breakthrough. So when estrogen reaches its peak, it's time for ovulation. The egg is ready to meet the sperm, while estrogen then going down and progesterone is taking over. Progesterone is all about being ready to take care of the embryo. It's like your body don't know if you got conceived, but it's getting ready anyway. The next phase starts right after ovulation. Progesterone is kind of the opposite from estrogen. Progesterone makes you more mellow. You want to stay at home, do your little things. You're less communicative. Everything is moving slowly. Sometimes even your digestion works slower. You feel more maybe heavy or even tired. You care less about going out with people, and of course, you don't feel like having sex so much. Sometimes, not at all. What for? You're having a baby now. This is what your body thinks. And progesterone is making sure no other sperm will try to harm it. So, it closes the gate, that is the cervix. It increases the temperature in your body to keep your baby and creates a more nourishing blood layer in your uterus for the baby. And instead of those amazing cervical fluids of estrogen, progesterone creates thick, heavy, and acidic secretions that come from the cervix. If somehow a new sperm arrives, it couldn't move and within less than 30 minutes it dies. This phase is great if you need to do a project at home and you need to concentrate in small details. It's time to invest in your home, your nest, your family. It's great time for art or going deeper in a spiritual practice. Progesterone can make you feel heavy and bloated. It's better to eat light and raw food and already start the inverted yoga poses to reduce the premenstrual symptoms or menstrual pain or heavy bleeding. After you ovulated once, you will not ovulate again this cycle and you cannot get pregnant. Progesterone is produced by a tiny group of cells in your ovaries named corpus luteum that can function between 10 to 16 days only. Within that time, the conceived egg and sperm are supposed to get to their new house in the uterus and will develop into a placenta and a baby. While doing so, they are keeping the corpus luteum functioning longer until the placenta creates the pregnancy hormones. But going back to the previous scenario, let's say no sperm has arrived. After approximately 10 days, if you are not pregnant, progesterone is going down. This is phase 4. There is no progesterone and no estrogen. So what does that mean? Apparently, progesterone and estrogen have another significant effect on you. I call them hash hormones. Apparently, that as a woman, your survival is more based on your ability to live in a tribe. Your survival depends on your social skills. Estrogen and progesterone, which are, by the way, exist in high dosage in birth control, are in charge for your ability or tendency to avoid conflicts. Do you know this moment that you say, never mind, it's okay, it will pass, it's not so bad, oh, don't worry about me. It's like peacemaking hormones. They have their good side and their bad side. When it's balanced with awareness, it's great. But many women find themselves hushing their voice, opinion, resistance to things that are not good for them. And when those hormones decrease, like in phase 4, it feels like all the things you didn't say during the cycle, all the things you kept in your belly are now coming out as premenstrual symptoms. Angry, super emotional, crying, nervous. Then your partner will say the most annoying sentence, something like, honey, you're about to get your period, right? Well, researchers show that women who communicate their emotions and needs during all of the cycles and practice witness in consciousness awareness don't experience those breakdowns before menstruation. Unfortunately, people use it as an excuse, saying things like, she's just emotional, she's about to get her period. Instead of paying attention and listening, what is that voice I'm pushing down? This is a great time for meditation. This is a time of clarity about my boundaries, my needs, my voice. Estrogen and progesterone also have the effect of making me take care of others. You know, to nourish and support my tribe. But when they go down, this is the time for you. You can see it clearly with women who finished their fertile years. They experience how is it when progesterone and estrogen decreases, and then get the urge to make big changes. To say, I'm not going to this kitchen anymore. I'm not making any more sandwiches. I'm going to India and making all kinds of dreams come true. It's a beautiful time when women suddenly can hear their own voice clearly and say, now it's my turn. The feminine body changes all the time. This is the gift of the feminine. When you don't know your body and cycle, the changes may surprise you and cause difficulties. When you track your cycle, you know which phase are you at. It's easier to keep meditative awareness. It's easier to relax your mind and emotions, and I don't mean to suppress them. It's easier not to lose yourself in those hormonal changes, like, I don't know, like a leaf in a storm. Then it feels more like riding the waves. So if you want to learn to ride the waves, pay attention to your cycle. If you want to learn how to track the different phases, to track your health and get to know your body, you may contact me. If you feel like learning how this knowledge can be useful to prevent or achieve pregnancy, check out my online course. So, it was a pleasure to make this video for you. Thank you for watching. And remember, you got a choice.